What up? Hope everybody's having a fantastic Thursday. Happy Thursday, Thirsty Thursday, whatever you want to call it. We are on day 25 of 30 days. 30 ways in 30 days that you can enhance, supplement, improve, design your own life. And today's day 25. I went to a seminar several weeks ago, 25 days ago actually, and they were talking about social media. And I haven't been fantastic on social media. I'm on Facebook like everybody else. Got a ton of friends on Facebook just because, I have a lot of different interests. Don't necessarily know everybody, but I wanted to be able to help brand myself better. I wanted to be able to share my message. I wanted to just see what all this Facebook Live stuff was about. And I've had a ton of fun. In fact, it's really motivated me to go after a lot more of my goals. It's inspired me to think bigger, to dream bigger, and it's really helped me focus on what's important. And because of this, I'm actually going to write a book that my goal is to have it out by April 1st, which is opening day, by the way, and the New York Yankees are opening in Toronto, Canada, which is a little surprising because they opened in Tampa last year. I thought they'd go back and forth, but apparently I was wrong. And if you look at the schedule, it's a great schedule. They're going to be visiting the Washington Nationals. We're going to play the Florida Marlins, Derek Jeter's new team, and we are ending in Boston. The last 3 games of the year are in Boston. You might be thinking, you know the schedule pretty well. Are you attending all 162 games this year? Maybe I am. Maybe I ain't. But I will let you know. Promise me, if I do, you'll hear about it, and you'll probably get tired of hearing about it because I'll be promoting the heck out of it if I do. It's been 7 years since I made my last tour. It's just so hard not to. With all the excitement around the Yankees, and I look at their schedule, and my juices start flowing, and I think you know that you found. One of the things I talked about in Finding Your Purpose a couple of days ago was when you are just super, super excited about something, you can't sleep, and it's all you talk about. That's how you know that that's sort of what your purpose is. So are you trying to tell me that your purpose, that my purpose, is to attend every Yankee game? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. So anyway, I see Matt Alder. Hey, buddy, John Wynn. See Matt. I see Mary Beth. I see Douglas Sams, Carla, Corey. What's up, buddy? Hey, Corey, I'll call you in a little while. Chris Delaney. Chris, I was watching your Facebook Live a little earlier today. I thought it was fantastic. You got a lot of talent. You got a great message, a great delivery and timing, and I certainly enjoyed it. And I see Kathy Patafio, one of my sister-in-law's cousin, right? I think so. Kathy, always good to see you at those family get-togethers. Guys, today's day 25 of 30 ways in 30 days, and it's sort of tough now because I've got like 5 days left, 6 days left, I guess, counting today, and to come up with just 6 more things that I think are just super, super important. So today I'm going to be talking about becoming a problem solver, not just becoming a problem solver, but dealing with adversity. Talked a little bit about this a few days ago. A lot of these are overlapping, as you could see. Several days ago when the Grateful Dead concert was canceled, I talked about disciplining your disappointments. And if you remember, I made a point that according to Napoleon Hill, every adversity comes with it the seed of something that could be equivalent or greater. So when things happen to us, we have to say, okay, what's good about this? Or what am I not seeing here? Just real simple. Like, let's say that I'm with somebody and they're super late. Maybe they're super late because if we had left when we're supposed to leave, maybe we would have been in a car accident, right? And it's really hard to tell those things. We have to trust whoever your God is or whatever you believe and whatever your faith is. You have to believe that somebody's looking out for you, right? There's my friend John Gardner calls it that the world is conspiring to do us good, right? So first of all, let's start with this. Let's look at the word problem, okay? If you hang out with me and you have for more than just a few minutes and you know me like we hang out and you're part of my life, you'll probably notice that I never, ever, ever use the word problem, okay? It's just not something that I do. What do I replace it with? I usually replace it with challenge, right? And it's just sort of such a habit that I just do it automatically. One of my brother Mike's greatest pet peeves is when he's meeting with somebody, usually in a business kind of environment, and they say to him, if you know my brother Mike, he's got a lot of pet peeves, they'll say, you know what my problem is? And it's like, whoa, stop. You got the wrong guy. This ain't the problem department, or this ain't the complaint department, right? And what that tells me about the person that he's meeting with, and it's usually maybe an associate in our business that wants to get advice, but they start off with, you know what my problem is, and I'm going to tell you, nobody wants to know what your problems are. We love you, we care about you, but nobody wants to start a conversation with, you know what my problem is. So if anything else that you've learned today, when you're dealing with my brother Mike or me or anybody else, try not to use the word problem and try not to say things like, you know what my problem is. And sometimes, quite frankly, I'll have like an associate in my business that's looking for help, and then might have say they have a brand new person with them, and the idea when you have a brand new person is supposed to be inspiring and encouraging and, hey, this is great. And they'll be talking to me, and the new person's behind them, and they'll say, you know what my problem is? I can't recruit anybody, or I can't sell anything. And I'm like, geez, I'll tell you what your problem is. Your problem is your attitude. Anyway, that's point number one, is try not to call problems, call them challenges, and don't start sentences with, you know what my problem is. Point number two that I wanted to make is take all the emotions out of it. Listen, in the world today, there's the good, there's the bad, there's the ugly, whether you're running a family, whether you're running a relationship, whether you're running a business. No matter what you're doing, you are going to have ups and you're going to have downs, and you are going to be disappointed, you're going to be frustrated, but you're also going to be happy. For every summer, there's a winter. For every fall, there's a spring. For every good, there's a bad. For every sunset, there's a sunrise. Every sunrise, there's a sunset. Life is full of ups and downs, and how you deal with that shows a lot. I call it emotional intelligence. You can hang out with somebody. I'll tell you a great example. I talked about my nephew, Matt, a couple of days ago when I was talking about quitting. Matt quit drinking and doing drugs 3 years ago. He's been clean. I'm super, super proud of him. But you know what I'm just as proud of besides that? And I'm proud of that. But I'm proud of the way that he handles himself in situations. In fact, he was just named his Employee of the Year at his company, right? He runs a warehouse there in Wilmington, North Carolina. But I just am super impressed on his emotional intelligence of how he handles situations, right? Back when he was drinking and had some addiction problems, there was a lot of rage. There was a lot of upset going on. So first of all, you have to take the emotions out of it, especially as a leader, especially as somebody that's working with other people. My company I work with, our product are our attorneys, right? So if I'm upset about a situation, I get on the phone with one of my attorneys, I can't just lose it, right? I also deal with customer service. We have 800 employees at the home office, and my job is to have a good relationship with them, so you can't lose it. A few years ago, I was picking up a guy, and he was I'm not going to give anything away about who he was, but he was an author. He had written some books, and we picked him up at the airport, and his suitcase with his books didn't arrive. And I got to tell you, he was pretty upset, right? I'm waiting in the car. We're coming out. He's like, I'm not leaving until I get these books. And in this particular situation, he was very rude to the employee at the airlines, like extremely rude, okay? Now, this was the employee had nothing to do with it. The employee did not physically hide his bag, not lose his bag, and he actually even said to the employee something like, the problem is you don't own a business. If you owned a business, and you can imagine that it got pretty ugly. And in that respect, I still have a lot of respect for this person, but in that particular situation, I lost a lot of respect for that person. But who knows? Maybe he learned from that, he or she learned from that experience, and maybe they're a better person for it. My point is, don't use the word problem. My point is that you really got to be careful when things happen, right? And then you got to sort of start putting things in different categories. Is this something that I can do something about? Is this the final answer, right? Like, I'm very passionate, right? I'm full of passion. If something doesn't go my way and I can still make a difference in it, I'm going to attack it. I'm going to do everything I can to win that situation. However, if it's already over, then you're going to learn how to deal with it. So a lot of times you have to assess, is this something that I could do something about, or is this not something that I can do something about? I saw somebody on Facebook the other day said they never get stressed out when there's a situation where they can't do anything about, because guess what? They can't do anything about it, right? And they said they never get stressed out in a situation where they can do something about it, so they're pretty much covering 100% of things, because guess why? They can do something about it, okay? So take your emotions out of it, guys. The older we get, the more mature we get, the more experience we have. This hopefully should become easier, and the more mature a person you are, the easier you are to take emotions out of it. Number 3 point I want to make today is always take full responsibility for every single thing that happens into your life good, bad, or indifferent. Recently had a situation, and the young lady that I'm working with, I was super impressed how she handled it, but there were some people in her business that were doing bad business. They were writing bad business, and unfortunately it affected her, right? And at the beginning, she was like, hey, there's nothing that I could have done about this. And we stopped, and I said, well, you really got to take full responsibility. You could have identified that person a little bit earlier. You could have had a better relationship. You could have been on top of it, okay? The point being, whether you believe or whether you don't believe that you were responsible for this particular act or whatever the problem or challenge is, you still take personal responsibility for it. You know why? Because then you're empowered. Then you can say, you know what? I'm in control of my life here. I'm in control of my emotions. I'm in control of what happened, of what is happening, and what is going to happen in the future. So always take full responsibility. Then I'm getting a lot of likes and loves. I feel like I'm on a roll today. Some of these lives go a little bit slower. Sometimes I'm like a boxer. Boom, 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 boom. I feel like I'm punching it. I'm hitting it today. Next. You have to ask questions under full responsibility, like, what have I done to attract this? What have I done to attract this? If it's true, thanks for all the likes and loves. If it's true that we attract everything into our life, good, bad, or indifferent, what have I done? What decisions do I make? What kind of integrity or lack of integrity do I have that I've caused this situation to happen? This person to treat me this way, this customer to leave, this customer not to do business with me. Whatever your situation is, what have I done, or in what ways have I been behaving that I have attracted this? And a lot of times that's tough stuff, but guess what? If you can identify that and make some changes in your life, hopefully you won't be attracting situations like this again. Next is, what could I have done to avoid this? Very similar, but again, what could I have done to avoid this, right? Looking back over a situation, was there anything that I could have done to avoid it? So next, number 4 is do as much research as you can when dealing with challenges. Read everything that you can, research everything that you can, talk to other people that are in your field and see if they've ever experienced anything like that. Not in a complaining way, but literally in a learning way. What can I learn from what's happening here? So do all of your research. And then at that point, if there's somebody that you can go to, like in my sales force, I try to get people to handle problems like this, challenges like this first before they come to me. And I'll say, well, what have you done about it, right? And the other thing is, when you approach somebody for help that you think could help you after you've done and researched and looked for answers yourself, offer solutions, right? Offer solutions. Like sometimes people say, well, this isn't working, that doesn't work. Okay, well, if you were running the show, what would you do? What do you think the challenge or the solution is to this problem? And the best way to avoid problems in the future is come up with solutions, because then you can sort of backtrack and whatnot as well. So anytime you're asking somebody else for help, say, you know what, this has been a real challenge, but I've thought about it and I've got a couple ideas. I got a couple of solutions. What do you think about this? So let's take a little break from the action here. See who else has joined us today. If anybody has any comments. Thanks, Corey. Hey, Michael, hope you're doing. I know you're excited. I'm watching all your Yankee posts. I see Ken Taylor. I see Gary. Gary, hope you're well. Randy Penner up in Canada. Lewis, Mary Lynn, hi from Canada. Carla, it's a situation. I like that, a situation or a challenge. I like challenge. Situation's great. I just like challenge because, I'm competitive, right? But situation's fantastic. I know when someone tells me we got a little situation here, we got a situation. I don't like it when you tell someone thank you and they say no problem. Mary Beth is in has experience in the restaurant industry, and she works with restaurants to help them with their customer service all across the board. I don't want to just categorize it in any small way, but whenever we go out to eat and the waiter says no problem, that's her pet peeve. So everybody's got their pet peeves. Mary Beth, thank you for voicing. David, nice to see you. Carla, Bobby, Dee, hope you're awesome. Cecilia, Carla, Kristen, nice to see you. Donna, hey Donna, Corey's on. I think they're married. Mary Beth, Karen, my old business partner, my first business partner when I was 22 years old, Karen Miller. Our Karen, I drove by Two Notch Road the other day, our old 9500 Two Notch Road. If you're still watching, give me a like or love, Karen. And that was, we had a business called Melia and Smith Enterprises. So her name Miller Brooks now, but back then she was Smith. It's got a lot of change going on. Karen, always great to see you. Always love hearing from you. Can't wait to see you again soon. But my first business when I was 22 on Two Notch Road in Columbia, South Carolina, called Amelia Smith Enterprises. And Karen and I dealt with a lot of problems, right? A lot of challenges. Cecilia, nice to see you. Roberta, Merry Christmas. Partner, absolutely, Roberta. And Jesse Gonzalez as well. So what we're talking about today, guys, is as a leader, as somebody that's building something, right? When you're building something, you're going to run into problems, right? If you're just living your life and you work for somebody else and you don't really care how it goes, whether the company does well or not do well, and you just want to get there at 9, later if possible, leave by 5, earlier if possible, extend the lunch hour, right? You're trying to do more. You're trying to do less than you get paid for, and the boss is trying to pay you less than you do, right? If you have that kind of relationship, then you don't really need to be much of a problem solver. But if you're building something, if you're building a family, building a business, if you're building a life, if you want something more, if you want to have change taking place in this universe, right? You want things to be a little bit different with the political climate, whatever it is. You're taking a stand for something, then there are going to be problems, okay? There are going to be problems, okay? Remember, the bigger the test, the bigger the testimonial, right? The bigger the test, the bigger the testimonial. You know, in my industry, in my company, when someone does really well, they get to go on stage in front of thousands of people and tell their story. And for those of you that have seen this, you know this, that the more adversity in a story, my friend John Wynn is watching. John, give me your like or give me a love. And John stood up on stage, I believe it was last year with his 2 daughters, and brought the house to tears. He was telling his story of the adversity that he had to come through. So remember that as you're going through things, right? Remember that one day it's going to make a great story. The other thing, I remember when my brother and I first started being business partners, it was right after Karen and I were business partners, so about a year later. We had a stack of bills, and our check was here, and our bills were up here. And one day we were just sitting there, and I said to my brother Mike, I said, this is where most people quit. Most people will quit because the problems are too much. That's what makes us different. If 90% of the people quit here, then we'll be part of the 10% that stays. And if 90% quit there, then we'll be part of this 10%. And guess what? Here we are 25 years later in business. You think I haven't had problems over the last 25 years? You think I'm not dealing with problems today? Right? I had a situation and challenge come up right before I got my Facebook Live, and I had to stand up, and I had to get rid of that emotion so I could deliver the goods to you guys. Okay? Another saying I love is every level has its devil. Give me a like or give me a love if you like that one. Every level has its devil, right? So whatever it is you're doing, whether I see my friend Corey on here. Corey has a goal to run 1,000 miles every year. I saw that on Facebook. Isn't that pretty cool, right? But guess what? As you're going through that, as you're going from being somebody that's a casual runner to somebody that's a regular runner, whatever, you're going to run into new challenges. When you're in business, I know where I am in my business. I've got thousands of people in my sales force that I am responsible for. Am I really responsible for them? Well, in my opinion, I am. I have the ability to respond in different situations. I'm responsible for their success, right? Now, they're really ultimately responsible. If it's to be, it's up to me. But I like to take full responsibility for everything that happens. But I know that the higher you go in life, the more responsibility. Think about you're a parent, right? All of a sudden you're single and things are great, right? But you become a parent and you've got all this extra. You're now responsible for another person. You have a second kid. Now you've doubled your amount of responsibility, right? Anyway, I'm excited. Another saying that I love, and I'm going to wrap up soon because I could go all day on this topic, is the size of a leader. If you're taking notes, this is another good one, right? Let's look at the ones we talked about. Remember, the bigger the test, the bigger the testimonial. Every level has its devil. And the size of a leader is determined by the size of the problems that they can overcome. That's another good one. The size of a leader is determined by the size of the problems that they can overcome. I love it. I love it. Remember, the universe has a way of testing us. The universe certainly has a way of testing us. When we just think when we're grooving, and you ever do it, you just I got all my bills paid and I get this, and all of a sudden your car breaks down. It's like, man, where am I going to come up with that money? And we're always going to deal with stuff. So if you know you're going to deal with stuff, and you can agree right at the beginning, I'm going to take my emotions out of this. I'm going to go with the flow. Remember yesterday we talked about a 3-step process for having a great life. Number 1, first thing in the morning, be grateful. Number 2, as you experience the day, go with the flow, baby. Don't let things get out of hand emotionally. And then number 3, your last thought of the day should be grateful. Pretty simple to remember. It's like a grateful sandwich. Grateful here, grateful there. Go with the flow. For my Grateful Dead fans out there, you can use that if you like it. Okay? Have you ever boom, boom, boom? That's about all I got, guys. That's my topic for the day was be a problem solver or be a situation solver or be a challenger solver. That doesn't sound as good. Problem solver sounds the best. Go with the flow, Mary Lynn. Roll with the punches, right? Roll with the punches. I see Michael Lee. I'm excited. We're about a week outside of Christmas. I'm headed to Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota. If anybody knows Minneapolis, Minnesota, I'm always looking for new business partners. Wherever I chat, wherever I go, that's one of the things I do in my business is I recruit. Who do I recruit? I recruit people that are looking to make a difference in their life, people that are looking for more financial freedom. There's so many great opportunities out there that if you are right now in a place where you're building somebody else's dream, where you're not excited about what you do, man, life's too short. Life's too short. You know, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be Legal Shield. That's just what the vehicle that I've chosen. There's so many great vehicles out there. I love my vehicle. That's why I chose it. But my advice to everybody, if you're listening, and obviously you are, or you wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be listening, is to find something that you love, to go with it with all the passion that you can muster up, and make yourself proud, make your family proud, and just do everything that you can to win in life. And I'm going to come up with 30 ways in 30 days. A new topic that I'm going to be launching a few days after I finish my 30 ways in 30 days to have a more successful life. And I'm not going to tell you what the topic is yet, but if you know me, you could probably figure it out. It's for a certain industry, and it's the 30 ways, 30 days of blank, right? So you can guess if you want. I'm not going to tell you if you're right, but in a week or two, I'm going to be launching 30 ways, 30 days in blank, a particular profession that I've been involved in. So if you don't get it, you're probably just haven't been paying attention very much. So anyway, hey guys, I'm doing Facebook Live, but my buddy Chip Humphrey's been doing Facebook Lives. If you haven't checked him out, Chip is just an amazing individual, been one of my best friends for over 20 years now. He retired recently as the principal of Vero Beaches High School, which I one day attended many, many years ago. And Chip and I have been working together in Legal Shield for about 20 years now. And his are real funny. Like he doesn't even know how to work his phone. Like he's hitting things and the dog things are coming up, and he's always turning it off by accident and starting over. So the funny thing is he's not even trying to be funny, but it's hysterical. So his name is Chip Humphrey. If you're not Facebook friends with him, befriend him and stuff like that. And hey, if anybody it just has anything they want to share with me, if you have a quote or an idea, or you just want to say, hey, I did this, I wrote down my goals, and it's been helping. Any communication that you want to have with me, you have my full attention to reach out to me. And for the most part, I will reach back out to you, unless you sound a little crazy. But I'll reach back out to you. And, my goal is to build, strengthen the existing relationships I have, but also to start many new prosperous relationships. Because guess what, guys? We are just getting started. 2018 is going to be the year. It's going to be my year. Hopefully it's going to be your year. And it's definitely going to be the year for the New York Yankees. You heard it here, baby. I'm predicting the 2018 New York Yankees will win the World Series. It's not even going to be close. They're going to win the first series in 3 games. They're going to sweep. Then they're going to win the next series in 4 games, sweep the Astros. Then they're going to sweep whoever else in 4 games. So my prediction is it's going to be an 11-game playoff World Series, which will be a lot easier on my wallet. I'll only have to buy tickets for the winning games because they're going to win all the games, okay? If you're from Boston, Baltimore, Tampa, or Toronto, watch out because we are going to kick your butt in the American League East this year. Anyway, sorry I got carried away on that. Everybody have an amazing day. God bless, and bye-bye for now.